seats and war wheels on this train, no shiny engines puffing along, no real train at all. The Underground Railroad was a secret operation to help slaves escape to freedom. America was supposed to be a free land where all men were created equal. Slavery was a topic of debate in the drafting of the Constitution, but no law was made to keep it out of New America. Slaves were human beings that had been hunted and captured like animals and kept like criminals. They were used by other humans to make a profit. They were separated from their own families, brought against their will to a foreign country, kept in shacks with poor food and clothing, and not allowed to get an education. They were beaten and chained. They couldn't worship or get married. Many people thought slavery was a bad idea and got together in secret to help. Railroad terms were used to describe escape routes for slaves fleeing from the South. The slaves were passengers, guides were conductors, and the safe houses they were hidden in were stations. Some people did not want to stay secret and spoke out against slavery. These folks were called abolitionists. They took a chance at being arrested or even killed by speaking out. Can you imagine? make mistakes.